You could turn in your Bibles to...
Somebody once told me, hey now, what a concept. Somebody once told me, I said yeah. Go for the motorcycle.
All right, welcome back to Somebody Once Told Me, the podcast where we explore the voice of Christ and his church in the book of Psalms. And we've been working through Psalm 3, and we've got past 2 Selahs, and we're now on verse 5 and 6. That's what we're thinking about. Aaron, would you read these verses, and then we'll have a little chat about them?
Yes. I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. I will not fear, though tens of thousands assail me on every side. I still want to just sing it. I will lie down and sleep in peace. Yeah. Hey, what if she what if we tail end the podcast?
What you're singing there is Psalm 4.
Is it?
Yeah, you're singing verse 8 of Psalm 4. But because they both talk about sleep. This is, I settle down and sleep in peace.
Oh.
Anyway, that's fine.
That's
fine.
Deceitful.
Don't know about that, but I think you just made a mistake.
Yeah.
So
I
anyway,
should have just owned it straight up.
Right. Can we start with what Augustine says on these verses? Because it's fantastic.
We should, we've forgotten to mention, what do other people say about it? Somebody once told me.
Oh, yeah. So the premise would be like, well, what have people said about these Psalms?
So let's use someone
All right,
now.
yeah, okay.
Right.
Good. Augustine. What does he reckon to this bit of Psalm 3?
He says this: the prophetic Psalms are by no means silent on the subject of Christ's resurrection. What other meaning can be taken from these words in Psalm 3, sung in the person of Christ? For unless one sees in this sleep the death, and in this awaking the resurrection of Christ, thus prophesied, one is reduced to the silly supposition that the prophet wished to communicate to us the really remarkable news that he himself fell asleep and later on woke up.
Absolute banter from Augustine there. Yeah. David said, I went to sleep and then I woke up. Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what he's saying is...
What's he saying?
It's more than that. It's talking about the death and resurrection of Jesus.
A bit like... So, with, is it Jairus' daughter, where Jesus says she's not, what does he say? She's just asleep. He says she's just asleep, and they all laugh at him.
Yeah.
But it's because she was actually dead, but to Jesus, death is sleep, and he can, it's not forever. He can wake people up from sleep. But, so Augustine's saying, well, it's more than just...
Yeah.
Like a nighttime's kip. This is talking prophetically about the death and resurrection of the Christ.
Yes. And Christ is speaking about his own death.
His own.
And resurrection, yeah. So
and he attributes then Jesus, I will rise again because, Father, of you, because you're going to sustain me. You're going to make sure I come through death.
Yeah. It's the whole deliverance language again, which we've been talking about, isn't it? It's the Father will do something to his Christ to help him amidst the enemies. So with all of these lies saying the Lord's not going to deliver you, the ultimate deliverance happens when Jesus sleeps in death and then rises again on the third day.
Class. However... I do think, if I could sit on the fence for a minute, it could be both. Like, Jesus could be saying, look, the only reason I woke up this morning is because you're sustaining me.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I think that's equally... But he knows, like, all of this is me practicing. I'm practicing my death.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
And resurrection. Every time I go to bed and wake up in the morning, it's a practice of...
Yeah.
Because one day I am going to go to sleep...
Yes.
But I'm also going to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important, I think, because Jesus understood sleeping and rising to mean, like, practicing is a good word, actually. He's practicing what will happen.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
Mm.
We're practicing the reality that we will one day die,
Yeah.
but we believe that we will rise
That's cool.
again. And yeah, so it's a really...
Yeah, because I think there is a link probably between, well, how's your sleep going, listener, at the moment? Because if you're struggling to get to sleep, there is a committing of yourself to the Father when you go to sleep.
Yeah.
All the worries and stresses of tomorrow, are you just worrying about them when you're trying to get to sleep? Like you're trying to deal with them now, but you can't. You have to actually entrust yourself to the Father who cares for you. And know that tomorrow there's grace for what He will sustain me tomorrow. It is like, can I trust Him?
Yeah.
And now I've got to go to sleep. I think there's a link between, if it's possible, if you're really struggling with sleep, then you might struggle when it comes to die to entrust yourself to the Father and trust He's going to rise me up from this death.
Yeah. There's a really big comfort in knowing, isn't it? If you go to sleep and you rise and you wake in the night.
Yeah.
That's because God woke you up.
Oh, yeah. So say you wake, oh my gosh, no, I've woken at 3 a.m.
But you woke up. You didn't die in your sleep.
Okay,
you weren't
yeah.
let go. The Father sustained you and you woke because He allowed you to wake.
Yeah.
That's such a comfort.
That's cool.
Should help with praying before sleep and praying. When you're assailed by all of these trials and you're really struggling with lies and doubts and difficulties, and then you're struggling with sleep, I take comfort in the fact that you can go to sleep and entrust your whole life, all of your worries and all of those difficulties to the Father. And if you wake in the night, great. He woke you up.
That's a different way of looking at, because we just see it as flipping heck, like, my child is crying, brilliant, now I'm awake.
This really helped me when we were having serious sleep issues with Johan. And I would meditate on this psalm a lot.
Nice, okay.
You can be thankful you're awake.
Yeah.
And he's cared for you in your sleep. He wants you awake right now, and He cares for you.
Yes.
But ultimately, I think this should help us with praying. Every night, we should be thinking, one day I will die, but my hope is in the resurrection of the dead.
Wow, it's big, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's big stuff. And it just says verse 6, I will not fear the tens of thousands drawn up against me on every side. Because, it is like, when I tread the verge of Jordan, bid my anxious fears subside. Yeah. Like when we go to sleep, often that's when fears assail us. And when we come to die, it probably will be very scary in one sense. But we go, no, I've no need to fear death. To live is Christ, to die is gain. Yeah. It should dramatically change how we approach death, knowing Jesus. Yeah, we should. And so, we can pray this. I lie down and I wake again because the Lord sustains me. And I won't fear, because when it comes to it, when I do die, I won't be consumed by these fleshly enemies or the spiritual enemies. Everything that I've gone through in life, which was difficult, they won't consume me. I'm not consumed to the abyss. No. Ultimately, I will rise with Jesus. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Wow, there's so much covered in the psalm already. I know. I think we should say, we'll probably just got one more episode on this Psalm 3. But if you've got any questions, let us know. Any questions on Psalm 3? We could maybe sneak in an extra episode where we answer them. Anything else you want to say, Aaron, or should we leave it there? I think if you are helped by this, talk about it. Yeah. Talk about
what about this? What about that? Not just to us, but to each other. Like we need to encourage each other as a church. It's reading and praying the Psalms isn't an individualistic thing.
No.
It should be,
though you may do it
individually.
Yeah. But then we want that to overflow
Yeah.
into.
It's
about
always
it,
a church thing. It's always a corporate thing. This is the church's prayer book with Jesus leading us in prayer. We should be helping each other to pray
Yes.
these sorts of things, these deep sort of truths that we should be praying. We should be helping each other. A bit like RBT, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's RBT going? Oh, this was cool.
You read it or listen to it alone, maybe, but then we orchestrate something where we come together and share, because what we want is that to just be what we do generally anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with the Psalms, it's helping each other to pray.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I mean, we've said it enough, but I just want to remind people.
It's a good reminder. Okay, catch you on the next episode.
Somebody once told me